नंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजना जय यमुना तीरावनचारि जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारि जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथाय जय बलदेवाय जय सुभद्रा मैया जय हो सुदर्शन जय गौरांगी बेंगलुरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलुरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलुरेश्वर जय गौरांगी जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय वामन देव जय वामन देव जय गिरी गोवर्धन जय गिरी गोवर्धन जय गिरी गोवर्धन जय गिरी गोवर्धन जय शालिग्राम जय शालिग्राम जय शालिग्राम जय निताई चैतन्य जय निताई चैतन्य जय निताई चैतन्य जय गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय हो गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल नित्यलीला पृष्ठजयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। कौन डिविटी संस्थापकाचार्य जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला पृष्ठ जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज शील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। भक्ति प्रदायिनी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपिका राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई श्री सुदर्शन महाराज की जय। जय श्री श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जय श्री श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। जय श्री श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री श्री द्वारकाधीश धाम की जय। श्री श्री साकेत अयोध्यापुरी धाम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। शील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज हरे कृष्णा। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Siddhanath Primanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So welcome you all in today's Srimad Bhagavatam morning session. And today we are going to read from Canto 4th, entitled The Creation of the Fourth Order. And under that we are going to read from chapter 12 entitled Dhruv Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. And in this chapter, we are going to read from text number 31 and 32. Let me share my screen. So wherever you are, you can repeat this verse. तदादुन्दभयो नेदुर्मृदङ्गपणवादयः गन्धर्वमुख्या प्रजगहुः पेतुः कुसुमवृष्टयः तदादुन्दभयो नेदुर्मृदङ्गपाण्डवाय पणवादय गन्धर्वमुख्याः प्रजगहुः पेतुः कुसुमवृष्टयः तदादुन्दभयो नेदुर्मृदङ्ग पणवादय गन्धर्वमुख्यः प्रजगौ पेतुः कुसुमवृष्टयः. So synonyms, translation and purport. We don't have purport here. So synonyms and translation by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms, tada, at that time, dundabhaya, kettle drums, neduha, resounded, mridanga, drums, padava, small drums, adayah, etc. Gandharva Mukhya, the chief resident of Gandharva Loka, Prajagahu, Sanga, Petuhu, showered Kusuma, flowers, Vrashtaya, like rains. Translation. At that time, drums and kettle drums resounded from the sky. The chief Gandharvas began to sing, and the demigod showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruv Maharaj. Text number 32. Sacha Swarvalokam आरोक्षयन् सुनीतिं जननीं ध्रुवः अन्वसर अन्वसमृतगं हित्वा दीना यास्ये त्रिविष्टपम् स च स्वरलोकमारोक्ष्यन् सुनीतिं जननीं ध्रुवः अन्वस्मरदगं हित्वा दीनां यास्ये त्रिविष्टपम् स च स्वरलोकम् आरोक्षयन् सुनीतिं जननीं ध्रुवः अन्वस्वर अन्वस्मरदगम हित्वा दीन्नाम यास्येत्रिविष्टपम्. So synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Saha he cha also swalokam to the celestial planet Aroksham, about to ascend. Sunitim, Suniti, Jananim, Mother, Dhruv Maharaj, Anaswarat, Anvasmarat, immediately remembered Agam, difficult to attain, Hitva, leaving behind, Deenam, poor, Yasya, I shall go, Trivishtapam, to the Vaikuntha planet. Translation. Dhruv was Dhruva was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start, when he remembered his poor mother, Suniti. He thought to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? Purport. Dhruva had a feeling of obligation to his mother, Suniti. It was Suniti who had given him the clue which had now enabled him to be personally carried to the Vaikuntha planet by the associate of Lord Vishnu. He now remembered her and wanted to take her with him. Actually, Dhruv Maharaj's mother Suniti was his Path Pradarshak Guru. Path Pradarshak Guru means the Guru or the spiritual master who shows the way. Such a Guru is sometimes called Shiksha Guru. Although Narada Muni was his Diksha Guru, initiating spiritual master, Suniti, his mother, was the first who gave him instruction on how to achieve the favor of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the duty of the Siksha Guru or Diksha Guru to instruct the disciple in the right way. It depends on the disciple to execute the process. According to Shastric injunctions, there is no difference between Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru. And generally, the Siksha Guru later on becomes the Diksha Guru. Suniti, however, being a woman and specifically his mother, could not become Dhruv Maharaj's Diksha Guru. Still, he was not less obliged to Suniti. There was no question of carrying Narada Muni to Vaikuntha Loka, but Dhruv Maharaj thought of his mother. Whatever plan the Supreme Personality of Godhead contemplates, immediately fructifies. Similarly, a devotee who is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord can also fulfill his wishes by the grace of the Lord. The Lord fulfills his wishes independently, but a devotee fulfills his wishes simply by being dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, as soon as Dhruv Maharaj thought of his poor mother, he was assured by the associates of Vishnu that Suniti was also going to Vaikuntha Loka in another plane. Dhruv Maharaj had thought that he was going alone to Vaikuntha Loka, leaving behind his mother, which was not very auspicious because people would criticize him for going alone to Vaikuntha Loka and not carrying with him Suniti, who had given him so much. But Dhruva also considered that he was not personally the supreme. Therefore, only if Krishna fulfilled his desires would it be possible. Krishna could immediately understand his mind, and he told Dhruva that his mother was also going with him. This incident proves that a pure devotee like Dhruva Maharaj can fulfill all his desires by the grace of the Lord. He becomes exactly like the Lord, and thus, whenever he thinks of anything, his wish is immediately fulfilled. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुसे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। जयतं सुरतुपङ्गोर मम मन्दमतेर्गति मतः सरस्वपादाम्बुजो श्रीराधा मदनमोहनो दिव्यादवृन्दरन्या कल्पद्रुमादौ श्रीमद्रत्नाकरा सिंहासनो स्थो श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिः सेव्या मनोस्मरामि श्रीमनरासरसारम्भि वांसी वटतटस्थितः कर्शनवेणुस्वनरगोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तु नः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome you all again in this morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. And today we are going to read from Canto 4th, Chapter 12th, text number 31 and 32. So once again I will read 31 translation. At that time the drums and cattle drums resounded from the sky. The chief Gandharvas began to sing, and other demigods showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruva Maharaj. So just a brief of the background for the devotees who are having attending this session regularly. So in this chapter, it is mentioned that how Dhruv Maharaj went back to home, back to Godhead, and the whole description is given. Okay, so we know that how Dhruv Maharaj, a 5-year old boy, was chastised by his stepmother Suruchi, right? When he was trying to sit in the lap of his father Uttanapada, he was chastised by his stepmother Suruchi, and how Dhruv Maharaj got furious and he went to his mother Suniti and told her the whole story that how it happened, right? And he was furious. And he wanted to have kingdom greater than his forefathers, right? And then Suniti actually told Dhruv Maharaj that whatever is being achieved in this life by anyone in this world is due to the grace of the Lord. And if you want to achieve something, you should actually please Him. And I heard that you can please Him by austerity and you should go to forest. This is what I heard, that how people actually pleases the Lord. And this is how she instructed Dhruv Maharaj to go to the forest. And we know that how Narad Muni met Dhruv Maharaj and how he instructed Dhruv Maharaj to perform yogic processes, right? And in this way, Dhruv Maharaj performed austerities for 6 months, right? And then he pleases the Lord by his determination and the austerity. And Lord actually appeared before Dhruv Maharaj. And then Lord blessed him that you are going to have Dhruv Loka, right? And then we know that how Dhruv Maharaj ruled over the kingdom, Earth kingdom, for around 36,000 years, right? And then in this duration, so happened once that Dhruv Maharaj's brother, Uttama, once he went to forest, right, for hunting. And during hunt, he was killed by one of the yakshas, right? And when Uttama's mother, that is Dhruv Maharaj's stepmother, Suruchi, heard about this information, she went to the forest in search of his son, Uttama. And we know that how she was killed by forest fire. But when Dhruv Maharaj heard about that his brother Uttama was assassinated by one of the yakshas, as a king, as a brother, he got furious and he decided to punish the yakshas. And we know that how Dhruv Maharaj attacked Alkapuri, the capital city of yakshas, and started killing yakshas one by one. And then Dhruv Maharaj's grandfather, Swayambhu Manu, he appeared and he asked Dhruv Maharaj to stop the fight. And Dhruv Maharaj, following the instruction of his grandfather, he gave up the gave up the fight, right? And then we know that how Sunanda and Nanda, right, the associates of Lord Vishnu, they came up with the plan, right? And they asked Dhruv Maharaj to come with them to spiritual world, that is Vaikuntha, right? So at that time, the description is given here that how Dhruv Maharaj actually step on that in the previous verse, the 30th verse of this chapter, that when Dhruv Maharaj was attempting to get on the transcendental plane, he saw the death personified approached him, right? And without caring of death, he actually stepped on the head of death and then he got up to the plane. So this is what is being discussed till now. And when he stepped on the airplane in this 31st verse, it is said that at that time the drums and cattle drums resounded from the sky. The chief Gandharvas began to sing, and other demigods showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruv Maharaj. And in 32nd verse, when is the translation again, I'm going to read it here. So let me go to the 32nd verse. So Dhruva was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start, when he remembered his poor mother, Suniti. He thought to himself, how shall I go to Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? So there are so many, spiritual principles that we can learn from this particular verse, right? The first and the foremost is that we should never ever forget even a small favor given to us in any time in our life, right? And what to speak of favor, one who is giving any instructions, even a little, a small instruction is given to us that helped us in achieving the highest goal of our life, then we shouldn't forget that person in our life. And here, Dhruv Maharaj, when he's seated in the transcendental airplane, right, and which was about to start, right, he remembered his mother because this was the time when he was thinking about the people who actually helped him in this life, right? How he actually, achieved the highest goal of this life, right? That's going back to home, back to Godhead. And as we discussed in earlier verses, that how a devotee is grateful, right? A devotee is grateful because he actually appreciate and acknowledge the efforts, and this is one of the quality of devotee, that he is grateful. So the attitude of gratitude is something which is very much required. You can call it as a prerequisite, right, to achieve perfection in a spiritual realm. And this was shown perfectly by Dhruv Maharaj. So this attitude of gratitude is something that we need to cultivate from the beginning of our spiritual life. And then only we can achieve the perfection in the right consciousness. And that's what is being explained here by Prabhupada as well. That Dhruva had a feeling of obligation to his mother, Suniti. It was Suniti who had given him the clue that which had now enabled him to be personally carried to the Vaikuntha planet by the associate of Lord Vishnu, right? So it's very important that we have that feeling of obligation, right? As Dhruv Maharaj is having a feeling of obligation to his mother Suniti, it was Suniti who has given him the instruction in the first go, right? And that's what helped him to achieve the highest perfection. So now, when Dhruv Maharaj was leaving this earthly planet, or you can say material world, and at that time he remembered his mother. This is very important from our perspective to be grateful to each and every one who helped us in spiritual path. So it is sometimes it so happened that we actually in course of our spiritual journey we forget people who actually helped us at every step in our life. Not on every step, then at least somewhere they have helped us in achieving something in the spiritual realm, right? So I heard in one of the lecture that even if someone has taught you how to tie dhoti, right? We should be very grateful to that devotee also, right? That at least one of the process of bhakti that we will actually learn from that devotee, right? So we should be very grateful that he actually taught us to how to tie the dhoti, right? And for that matter, anything that we have learned from others, right? We should be very grateful to him, grateful to that devotee. Sometimes we learn how to do worship of the deities, right? We observe and we sometimes thinks that it is our observation that actually helped us rather than appreciating the devotees who is doing the deity service perfectly. And that's why we actually learn by seeing that how we should do deity worship perfectly, right? So if we have that kind of mentality that we appreciate devotees in our life, then Lord become very pleased with us. Because when you appreciate, because appreciation actually help us overcoming one of the shad ripu. And what is that? That is jealousy, right? Irsha. When we appreciate someone, then we actually defeat this great ripu or great enemy, right? Which is jealousy, right? So jealousy cannot exist with appreciation. So when we have that attitude of gratitude, when we are grateful to people around us, devotees around us, then we wouldn't fall prey to this great enemy, which is jealousy, right? So if we can cultivate this mentality or this attitude of gratitude in our life, then we can easily overcome this enemy. And this is something which can help us greatly in achieving our ultimate aim, that is going back to home, back to Godhead. And if you see, most of the times, right? So the criticize when we criticize someone, it is because of we are not appreciating the efforts of that person. If we can appreciate, we can actually stop criticizing, right? But we don't appreciate people, that's why we criticize them. And this is very important from a devotee's perspective, that he do not fall prey to this particular attitude of criticizing, right? So we can overcome this attitude of criticizing by developing the attitude of appreciation. When we appreciate someone, we cannot criticize, right? So this is one of the greatest offense that we can make and we can ruin our spiritual life is to criticize someone. When we criticize, then we not only criticizing that person, but also at the same time we are inculcating or assimilating that particular bad virtue in our personality, and that is very harmful, and that actually can lead us to we can fall from our spiritual life. Now, there's that attitude of appreciation or attitude of gratitude can help us or can save us from that fall. And that's very important that we cultivate the attitude of gratitude. And not only this help us in overcoming the criticizing attitude, but at the same time it help us overcoming our ego as well, right? So when we are egoistic, then we actually think ourselves greater than others, and at that time we cannot appreciate others. When we are good and others are bad, then how we can appreciate? We cannot appreciate. We can only appreciate someone when we think that we are lower, and that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, right? Trinadapi suni chena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So kirtaniya sadahari cannot come first, right? The first come Trinadapi suni chena. Then when we become humble than a blade of grass, right? Pranadapi suni chena. Then only we can have this attitude of gratitude. We can appreciate others. Otherwise, we cannot. So, from a devotee's perspective, from a sadhaka's perspective, from a person who want to progress in the spiritual realm, then he should, he must develop this attitude of gratitude. And how? By developing this attitude of gratitude, we can overcome our egoistic mentality or criticizing mentality, and that will help us in serving the devotees as well. Because when we have this attitude of gratitude, when we are grateful to someone, then we want to serve that person, right? Until unless we have this mentality of serve attitude, gratefulness, we cannot serve someone, right? So serving someone in right consciousness requires that we have this quality of being grateful to that particular person or a devotee for that matter, right? So walking on a spiritual path with a goal of attaining the highest perfection, that this is the prerequisite that we develop this attitude of gratitude or mentality of appreciating everyone around us for whatever they have done in our life, being it a small favor or a big one. And you can easily observe this quality in Mahatmas or great devotees. And the greatness can be observed by how much they appreciate people around them. And this is what we have seen in case of Srila Prabhupada as well. That he was so appreciating to the devotees who have joined the Krishna conscious movement in the beginning, right? And he was so appreciative to those devotees. He keep on telling in his lectures, right, that look at these European and American boys and girls, right? They have given up everything and they have joined Krishna consciousness movement. And they at the time when they have joined this Krishna consciousness movement, they weren't fully pure. right? They were having so many bad habits, but still Prabhupada was so appreciative to them because Prabhupada was looking at whatever the small things that they were doing to excel in a spiritual path, right? And this is what make a person great. And this is how Prabhupada is great because he was so appreciative to everyone around him. And he was appreciating even a little favor or a little effort that is being done by any one of the person around him. And this is what we should learn from Prabhupada as well. So now, in this purport, Prabhupada is now saying further that Dhruv Maharaj's mother, Suniti, was his Path Pradarshak Guru, and Path Pradarshak Guru means the Guru or the spiritual master who shows the way. So, in our Shastras, the four kinds of gurus are being mentioned, right? So there is no categorically it is being mentioned somewhere, but this is what I heard in one of the lecture. The first is Chaitya Guru, second is Path Pradarshak or Margdarshak Guru, or then you have Siksha Guru and then you have Daksha Guru. So there are four types of guru, right? So Chaitya Guru is someone who is sitting inside our heart, and who is that Chaitya Guru? That is Paramatma, right? So that Paramatma sitting in our heart, whenever we take any decision, then he actually warn us if we are going in wrong direction, right? Then that Chaitya Guru help us, and this is what we call as conscience, right? That help us in taking the right decision. So Chaitya Guru, the Paramatma sitting in our heart, help us in taking the right decision and following that decision, that whatever we have made, right? So that Chaitya Guru is the one. And then Siksha Guru or Path Pradarshaka Guru, that help us, he shows the way. This is what Prabhupada is saying here. That the Guru, Path Pradarshak or Margdarshak Guru is one who actually shows the way. So sometimes, in case of Dhruv Maharaj, we can see that his mother, Suniti, helped him by showing the way, right? So sometimes is showing the way is by giving the instruction, and sometimes it is by showing the example, right? It's both the ways. So it's not necessary that every time instruction has to be given, right? Sometimes the one who is intelligent, he can take instruction by seeing a person, and that's why it is said that we can actually learn from anyone in this world, right? Even from an ash, even from a donkey, we can uh, take something, right, that can help us, right? So that's why the instruction, one who shows the way, right? That's why that guru is called as path pradarshak, who is showing the path, right? That's why the guru is someone who shows the way, right? In that way, that guru help us in achieving our goal. And that's why the attitude of gratitude is also need to be there as well. How? Because each and every person around us, when we started our spiritual journey, right, helped us to progress in the spiritual path. So we should be take understand that everyone who has given us instruction, everyone who has shown us the way, all of them are our path pradarshak guru or margdarshak guru, right? And such a guru, Prabhupada is saying, is called as, sometimes they are also called as Shiksha Guru, right? So they keep on giving you instruction, right? So we have consular system, right? So those who have, dedicated their life in showing us the way. Every time, whenever we have any problem, we call them, we take instructions from them, we take advice from them, and then we, implement that instruction. Then we are also come in that, the consciousness of disciple. Otherwise, there are many, things, or many people who are actually advocating so many things in our life, right? You see nowadays, people are taking knowledge from, social media, right? Spiritual university, they are not spiritual universities, but they are WhatsApp universities or Facebook universities, where we see a lot of videos that actually, telling people to do something in their life, right? But they are not path pradarshak in a way, because they are actually hallucinating the people. They are illusioning the people rather than showing them the correct way, right? So we need to understand that. That's why Prabhupada is saying that such guru is sometimes called Siksha Guru as well. And then further, Prabhupada is saying that although Narada Muni was his Diksha Guru, because Narada Muni has given him the mantra, right? And he initiated him. That's why Narada Muni was his Diksha Guru. And then further, Prabhupada is saying that Suniti's mother was the first who gave him instruction on how to achieve the favor of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, if you want to get favor of Supreme Personality of Godhead, you should go to the forest, you should perform austerities, and you should please the Lord. And that's how you please the Lord. And further, Prabhupada is saying it is the duty of the Siksha Guru or Diksha Guru to instruct the disciple in right way. And that's why I was telling that those WhatsApp universities, or Facebook universities, or any social media platform, that for that matter, it's not Siksha Guru, right? Because if they are not instructing the followers in the right way, they are not guru, right? And guru is someone, and that's why guru word itself is actually, if you see the literal meaning of guru, is heavy, right? And we often say that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So, how Guru is Brahma, how Guru is Vishnu, how Guru is Maheshwara? Because Guru is actually creating good qualities in us, right? So, creation is done by Brahmaji, right? So, in this way, when Guru creates good qualities in us, you know, he actually empower us to cultivate good qualities. Then he becomes Brahma. When we have those qualities and then we sustain those qualities by the instructions of Guru, then Guru become Vishnu. And when Guru, by his instruction, destroys our bad qualities, right? Then he is Maheshwara or Shiva, because Shiva's duty is to annihilation, right? So Guru plays the role of Shiva by annihilating our bad qualities, right? And that's why he becomes the Parabrahma. And at that time, we actually worship Guru equivalent to Lord or Bhagavan. So we need to understand that not everyone is Guru, and those who have given us instruction are called as Siksha Guru, and though the person or the Guru who has actually given us the mantra, then he is our Diksha Guru or initiating spiritual master. And then Prabhupada is saying that it depends on the disciple to execute the process. Yes, the instruction will be given by Guru, but ultimately it is the onus is on the disciple to follow the instructions, right? So if you go to a doctor, right, and doctor has given you some prescription, then it is the duty of the patient to follow the prescription, right? If if a patient is not following the instructions as per given by the doctor, then he will not become free of disease, right? So similarly, if The spiritual master has given some instructions, right? And if we are not following it in the right way, right, then we cannot actually get rid of birth, death, old age, and disease, right? We cannot get out of this vicious circle. We can get out of this vicious circle when when it will happen, when we are going to follow the instruction as is, right? Then only we can, get out of this vicious circle. So that's why Prabhupada is saying that it depends on the disciple to execute the process. And according to Shastric injunctions, there is no difference between Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru. It's very important from our perspective, those who are in Krishna Bhavanamrit or ISKCON, they need to understand, because sometimes we actually take Siksha Guru very lightly, right? Rather than Diksha Guru becomes very important for us, but we do not give much importance to Siksha Guru. And as Prabhupada has told in the beginning, and we can understand that Siksha Guru is someone who has given us instructions in the beginning, or who is giving us instruction throughout the process, right? Then we should be very, very, very cautious about this, that we give we consider Siksha Guru equivalent to Diksha Guru, right? And then only we can actually, by doing so, right? When we actually consider Siksha Guru equivalent to Diksha Guru, by doing so, we actually, please the Lord. How we please the Lord? Because at that time we are exhibiting the quality of gratitude, right? Because even if someone has helped us in tying the dhoti, right? He has actually helped us in wearing a Vaishnava dress, right? So we should be very thankful to him, right? And not only thankful to him, Prabhupada is saying that we shouldn't differentiate between Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru, right? And then Prabhupada is saying that generally the Siksha Guru later on becomes the Diksha Guru as well. So sometimes it may happen that the person who is giving you instruction may initiate you as well. And then Prabhupada is saying that Suniti, however, being a woman and specifically his mother, could not become Dhruv Maharaj's Diksha Guru. So that is something, in this world, it is very debatable that, those who are feminist, they can raise a concern over here, that how, it is being said here that women and mother could not become Dhruv Maharaj Diksha Guru. So that is something that we should leave it to Shastras, and we should actually try to understand the crux of the information that has been given to us. We should understand it from the right consciousness, that it is not that Prabhupada is saying here that women are lower, but Prabhupada is speaking, in relation to the Shastric injunctions, right? That Suniti, however, being a woman and specifically his mother, could not become Dhruv Maharaj Diksha Guru. But still, Prabhupada is saying that still he was not less obliged to Suniti. It's very important that though Suniti was not Dhruv Maharaj Diksha Guru, but still he was not less obliged to Mother Suniti. And there was no question of carrying Narada Muni to Vaikuntha Loka, because he's already Vaikunthavasi, right? And that's why it is not that Prabhupada is saying that that's why Dhruv Maharaj's concern was for his mother only. And not for Narada Muni, because one may think that, oh, he's having a concern for the Siksha Guru, but he's not having concern for Diksha Guru. Diksha Guru is already liberated. He need not to think about Narada Muni going to Vaikuntha Loka. So that's why Dhruv Maharaj was thinking about his mother. Now Prabhupada is saying that whatever plan the Supreme Personality of Godhead contemplates immediately fructifies. And similarly, a devotee who is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord can also fulfill his wishes by the grace of the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying that the, whatever Krishna contemplates, it immediately happens, right? He need not to do any actions as well uh, from the material perspective, right? And similarly, a devotee who is a pure devotee of the Lord, who is completely dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, his wishes can also be fulfilled in the same way by the grace of the Lord. And further, Prabhupada is saying that Lord fulfill his wishes independently because Lord is not dependent on anything to wish, right? But a devotee is actually dependent on Supreme Personality of Godhead for fulfilling his wishes. So whenever a pure devotee of the Lord wishes something, then Lord immediately fulfill the wishes of that devotee. And that's how, you know, the devotees of the Lord are equivalent to Lord as well in this way. When because both of them actually both of them can wish something and their wishes will get fulfilled immediately. So in Lord's case, because he is not independent and he is all powerful, his wishes can be fulfilled immediately because of his independent, and a devotee's wishes getting fulfilled because of he is dependent on the Supreme Lord completely. So this is what we need to understand. And then Prabhupada is saying that therefore, as soon as Dhruv Maharaj thought of his poor mother, he was assured by the associate of Vishnu that Suniti was going to Vaikuntha Loka. So when he was thinking about that what will happen to my mother, right? This was a concern in Dhruva's mind. So the Nanda and Sunanda, right? The confidential associates of Lord Vishnu who actually came here to take Dhruv Maharaj back to home, back to Godhead, they could understand that Dhruv Maharaj is thinking about his mother. So they told that, you need not to worry, right? You need not to worry because Suniti was also going to Vaikuntha Loka in another plane. So Dhruv Maharaj, Prabhupada is saying further that Dhruv Maharaj has thought that he was going alone to Vaikuntha Loka and leaving behind his mother. So he was thinking that, oh, I am going alone, and how can I forget? How can I leave my mother who has helped me in achieving the highest goal of my life? So this is the attitude of gratitude that we can see in Dhruv Maharaj. Then but Prabhupada is saying that, but Dhruva was also considered that he was not personally the supreme. He was knowing that he's not supreme, so he was having that thought that how it going to get fulfilled. And we know that whatever we have discussed earlier, that how a pure devotee's wish also get fulfilled, 100%, right? It is not that some wishes will get fulfilled and some wishes will not get fulfilled. So whatever a pure devotee desires, his desires get fulfilled immediately. And that's why he could see that his mother is going in a plane which is moving ahead of his plane. It's very important. Now, Prabhupada is saying, therefore, only if Krishna fulfilled his desire would it be possible. Correct. Because he was totally dependent on Krishna. And this is the sign of a pure devotee. Krishna could immediately understand his mind and he told Dhruva that his mother was also going with him. This incident proves that a pure devotee like Dhruva Maharaj can fulfill all his desires by the grace of the Lord. He becomes exactly like the Lord, and thus, whatever he thinks of anything, his wish is immediately fulfilled. So, with that, uh, we are going to end here. And if you have any questions, then I can take one of that question. Otherwise, we are going to end this session here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thank you very much for that wonderful explanation. If you can reiterate what you said for Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara once again, because I think I didn't quite get that, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you, Uttam Damodar Prabhu. So, Uttam Damodar Prabhu is asking that when I was talking about how Guru actually destroys, cultivate or creates, good qualities in us, then he is Brahma, because Brahma's responsibility is creation, right? So when Guru creates, good qualities in us, right? We actually, not having any quality. We do not have any quality. But when Guru actually help us in creating those good qualities in us, then Guru is playing the role of Brahma, right? And when Guru, help us, because just by cultivating something, want guarantee that we are going to sustain that, right? So when you sow a seed, when it become a plant, then you need to take care of that plant to become a tree, correct? So similarly, when we start cultivating good qualities, then we need to sustain them as well. Once we create, we need to sustain them as well. So Guru by giving proper instructions to us, help us in sustaining those good qualities, then he is playing the role of Vishnuji, because Vishnuji is someone who is maintaining this universe. And the role of Guru is also in destroying bad qualities in disciple, right? So at that time, because the role of Shivji or Lord Shiva is to annihilate, right? And when Guru help us in destroying or annihilating our bad qualities, then he is playing the role of Shiva. This is what it is. Does that answer your question, Uttam Damodar Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Very much. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thanks all the devotees. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर सितनाथ प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।